What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. And as promised, we are talking about this government shutdown that started at midnight today. And we have Senator London Lamar on the line from the state of Tennessee. What's up, Senator Lamar?
Hey, Angie. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Now, I'm hoping that you could kind of fill us in on what's going on with this government shutdown and how we'll be affected.
Absolutely. So, what happened at midnight as of today is a lot of government departments have been shut down because the Senate decided not to pass an appropriations bill that because of the biggest issue around health care. Currently, Trump and the Republican administration is trying to gut the premium subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act is the only public health care program that all Americans, regardless of their income, can access to receive affordable health care. By cutting these subsidies in these bills, the price of the premiums of coverage is going to double for the average American every day. And so what you see is legislators standing up saying we're not going to pass a bill that is going to gut the Affordable Care Act, and 22 million Americans will lose health care if they were to pass that piece of legislation. And so the Republicans are drawing the line in the sand around they were ready to cut health care for millions of Americans to send that money to military, to for other unimportant legislative agendas under the Trump administration. But I think it's important that in this time, in my personal opinion, we need to hold the line because the Affordable Care Act and being sick is nothing that any American can avoid. Everybody gets sick. And so if we take this program away, hospitals are going to close. People are not going to be able to afford their health care coverage. Kids are going to go sick. People, just average everyday people, will lose health care coverage. It's very dangerous, and we need to show as much strength as the dictator of our country, Trump, is showing.
Now, I have a couple of questions here because I see both Democrats and Republicans are blaming each other for the government shutdown. And I also see that Donald Trump is saying that he plans to do some irreversible things during this time. So what are your thoughts on that? Because it feels like healthcare should be a bipartisan issue, right? We should want everyone to have access to healthcare that's affordable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Affordable health care has been around for a long time now. It's a program that most Americans have established they'll be able to utilize. And so the Republicans are basically just trying to blame Democrats for not passing what they want at the expense of 22 million other Americans. What we need to do is to ensure that we are staying focused on what the real issue is, and that's providing coverage for people. But Angela, I would say it's very interesting though. The Trump administration is talking about only punishing certain types of people, and he's talking about Democrats. He's also mad about this bill, but they're not going to cut funding to the military that is coming in my city of Memphis, Tennessee, taking over, or is trying to go into other major people of color majority cities around this country and attack them and impede on their communities. But he wants to take away health care. What we're seeing is very dangerous times of where our president is stripping the ability for the every average day American to make it above the working and middle class, and we're creating a permanent underclass, and he's utilizing the military and the funding to terrorize democratic black cities around this country. And I know it firsthand as I see the National Guard entering my own city this week, but I'm looking at the average mom and father here in my community who are just strapped with health care costs. We got to look at the priorities and look at what is going on. The Republicans are blaming us for protecting health care while they're trying to fund militarizing cities and terrorizing people.
Now, I'm glad that you brought that up because Memphis right now, like you said, hundreds of federal law enforcement officers have been deployed there. There's a new safety task force. And I know, and it's interesting because we talked about this, like we talked about Chicago previously, and what that means for residents there. Now, while people can be concerned about crime rates and homicides and things like carjackings and high numbers, what does that mean to have federal agency officials there?
So I understand that all major cities across the country are having issues with crime. Why? Because people are broke and they're trying to survive. And so I think what's going on right now is the president is trying to use the challenges that cities are experienced to test out how he can use the military to execute his plans. I truly agree with the governor of Illinois when he said he is trying to put the military in these major Democratic cities to scare people from going to the polls and voting and turning Congress back to the Democratic Party, which then won't pass many of his ridiculous Project 2025 agendas. We are seeing the Trump administration use black and Democratic cities as experiments for martial law, and that is what's going on right now. The problem between Memphis and Chicago is Chicago has a Democratic governor that protects them. Our state doesn't. Our governor is Republican and is a big Trump fan. So anything that Trump asks him to do, he will do it. That includes signing off to bring the military in our city. It's no doubt that Memphis has challenges just like every city. But if we're going to bring the military into Memphis to test out an overuse of force, then I want to call out the Trump administration and say, then bring more federal resources down to help people. Bring the healthcare director down. Let's talk about the impact that affordable healthcare will have on the city of Memphis. Let's talk about affordable housing that was gutted and people are struggling living on top of each other trying to make it. Let's talk about how they cut $100 million in crime prevention funds, yet they're going to fund the military to come in and just arrest folks without actually solving the root causes of crime. So to me, Trump is trying to create a permanent underclass through the use of military, through the deprivation of resources like healthcare and affordable housing, and also attacking the immigrant community, who are some of our most loyal workers, by using ICE agents to come in and terrorize people without any stopgap or any authority to stop them from hurting these people and snatching up families. Well, this is dangerous times we are in.
Yeah.
And I really want to take this moment to ask people, do you think your life has gotten better under Trump? And then remember that in the November election next year.
Yeah, and I do want to point out and just reiterate what you said. If you're spending money to send these federal law enforcement officers to put a Band-Aid on what you call a problem, right? Why not spend money on resources, like you said, to help people who are struggling? Because everybody knows that the root of when things like this are happening, when crime goes up, is because there's not enough programs, there's not the affordable housing, there's not job programs, there's not childcare, so many things that people need that could actually benefit communities.
Absolutely. So what I want to encourage people to do is make sure you are doing what you can to protect the assets and resources you have now. Right now, continue to create a savings plan, a contingency plan for if things do get worse, because we are already in a recession. But if things keep progressing as they're progressing, the Trump administration, Republicans, are going to send America into a depression. Everything is going downhill. But I want to say this, as a Memphian, considering what's going on, we're going to show you how to make it through these times. We will rise amongst the dictatorship. We will show you how we're going to survive military coming into our city, terrorizing our people, and we're going to show you what it's like to come together and resource ourselves in our own community. So don't get over dramatic about this government shutdown. Yes, some jobs will be impacted, but overall, many key jobs and functions will be staying in place, like the postal office and everything, but our national parks will see less staff. You may have longer lines at the airport because some TSA agents won't be coming to work. But keep moving forward. Everything will be fine. But as a Democrat, I'm going to support them holding the line to protect the Affordable Care Act. That is the only public health care system for all Americans across this country.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Senator London Lamar, for calling in today, because I love to hear straight from somebody who is involved directly, letting us know what's going on. The one thing that does concern me also is Donald Trump saying that he'll be able to do some irreversible things during this time. Is that, I mean, it feels like, this is also the goal. And is this like a step backwards for Democrats?
It's not, I say it's a step backwards for America, not just Democrats, for this whole country. But unfortunately, Angela, I'm not surprised that he's going to do that. And I think that right now we just got to prepare ourselves for a fight for the next 2 years until we can hit the midterm election to change Congress. But yes, he is going to do harm. He's already done harm. He's already in Memphis using the military to terrorize communities. And just, I hope that people listen and understand that it's not just my city that's going to get hit. It's all of you all. So buckle up, be prepared, because he is a dictator and he will do harm to our communities.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll keep our eye on things and we'll check back in, okay?
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.